We are back on page 18 of the PDF for the New York State Computer Science and Digital Fluency Learning Standards to take a look at cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is broken down into three sub-concept areas: risks, safeguards, and response, and has five standards within this standard concept area. Really, we're taking a look here on how we can keep our information safe and what we can do if there's been some sort of breach. We're going to scroll down then now to page 32 of your PDF so we can take a look at these standards. Cybersecurity, when we're talking about that first sub-concept area of risk, just focusing on the grade 7 to 8, we're looking at that first standard to say, determine the types of personal information and digital resources that an individual can have access to that needs to be protected. So the emphasis is on identifying personal information and devices that an individual may have access to and that adversaries may want to obtain or compromise. At this stage, students should focus on specific data and devices that they have access to. So you can think again about how we're using different software programs, our privacy policies, how they access the internet with their Chromebooks versus at home, and so on. The next sub-concept area is safeguards. Here for cybersecurity 2, describe physical, digital, and behavioral safeguards that can be employed in different situations. The emphasis is on recommending different types of security measures, including physical, digital, and behavioral for a given situation. So you may talk about the difference between how they use their home computers versus how they use their school ones. Continuing on with safeguards, we're going to go on to number 3, describe the trade-offs of implementing specific security safeguards. The focus is on thinking about how specific safeguard impacts the confidentiality, integrity, and access of information. Additionally, there should be a focus on discussing whether strengthening one specific safeguard adversely affects another. So here you could be talking about the fact that at school they use Safe Search within Google, but at home they may have more access to the different images and so on. And you can talk about how that impacts their confidentiality or their data. And then going on to number 4, this is kind of a fun one. You have to describe the limitations of cryptographic methods. If you're not familiar with cryptography, it's really just decoding and coding different messages. So it's thinking about things like the Navajo code talkers or the Caesar shift, or even using Breakout EDU to think about how you have to you have to solve puzzles to get into different information. You're talking about ciphers and codes and such here, which students tend to find really fun. So the focus is on recognizing that cryptography provides a level of security for data, and some types of encryption are weaker than others. So here you could also talk about your passwords, right? So you can talk about that you want to use uppercase and lowercase letters, you want to use numbers and symbols and so on to make it harder for a computer to decode. And finally, the last one here is response. Here we're talking about describing the actions to be taken before and after an application or device reports a security problem or performs unexpectedly. So the emphasis here is on explaining appropriate actions to prevent and address common security issues for common situations. So it could be pausing before you click, or what happens if you do click and you get a virus and what you should do about it.